Hello, this is Yiqing Xiao.
Hi, this is Han.
Hi, this is Wei.
And first, we will start from our ERD model introduction. And next page, please. And this is the whole ERD model of our group design. And our ERD model is built to help our customer make a lab to store and manage their product, expense, event, and employee data. And our model is basically divided into the 4 parts. Or start from the super type person, which store all the information, includes employee, user, event dependency, and supporter. In the product model, it includes the customized product and service and the invoice line. And in the employee part, we use the employee switch to record the history that the volunteer transform into the employees and the employees transform into volunteer. And we also use the attendance table to record employees' working time. And in the event part, we use the order table and attendance table to record the revenue and some basic information about our event and the ratio about the people that they attend. And in the vendor part, we use the inventory and the receipt table to record the material and the expense that the lab spending on buying their material. And all this table can help make a lab to help into accounting and human resourcing and the selling department. The drawback of our table is that we lack of the reservation part that used to record data that customer order in advance. We just all the data, include the advanced data in the user order part. And this will make our process become simplified. And in the inventory part, we only include the material that we buy from the vendor. We exclude the material that we used or received from the supporter. But this can help the management to check all the sources or the usage of our material. And this is the introduction of our ERD model. Next, I will hand it to Yiqing to introduce our report.
Thank you, Shen-An. I'd like to introduce our first report, Loyal Customer Discount. For keep our customer loyalty, we like to give our loyal customer who order 5 times and more some discount by grouping person ID and counting invoice equal and more 5 times. The query showed the person ID and invoice ID from invoice table. The users show on this query will get some discount on their future orders. So for our second report, it's called Total Estimated Budget from Next Year. We create this report based on the expense of last year. It could help us define what we might spend next year and how much is our target to earn and gathering from spotters. This report used the sum total of employee salary from annual salary query plus annual expense from annual labor expense query to get annual expense. We put year column into it to distinguish the year. So next, I will pass it to Wei Wei to introduce.
Thank you, Yiqing. And now I'm going to talk about the report of total lab purchase. This report is cooperated with the report that Yiqing has just mentioned, the total estimated budget for next year, because this report is designated to calculate the total amount of the inventory that the lab has already purchased for the current year. And it also helpful in calculating the expense or the cost of the lab inventory, and also is helpful in predicting or estimating for the future, for the next year's budget for the lab inventory. And the next slide, please. So this report is called volunteer hours to employee hours ratio, because we know that within our lab, the groups, also known as the employees, has 2 types. The first type is the volunteer, which has no wage earned, and another type is employee, which will pay for each hour they work. So this report will calculate the total working hours of the volunteer and the total working hours of the employees, and will divide the volunteer hours by the employee working hours, so we can get a ratio of the volunteer hours to employee hours. And it's helpful for the supervisor or the director of the lab to determine whether a volunteer work effectively for the lab or the employee works more effectively for the lab, and can tell exactly who contribute more to the lab simply from their working hours. And next, I'm going to hand in to Han.
Hey guys, I mainly design 3 reports. They are average user order, annual revenue, and user total refund event orders. And today I will talk about the first 2. First of all, the main goal of the first report, average user event order number, is to query the average number of events booked by each user. This mainly involves the persons table and the event order table. The total number of the event orders and the total numbers of persons need to be calculated respectively and divided to get the average number of event orders for each user. Next, please. The second report is annual revenue. The main goal of this report is to calculate the annual revenue. The tables that need to be used are mainly product and user order. Use product ID to connect the 2 tables and extract the year of the order according to the order date, and then group to calculate the total revenue for each year. The significance of this report is that it can help the laboratory to understand the annual income status. So this will be all for today for our presentation. And thank you all for watching. And if you guys have any questions, we are open to any questions, and you can contact us through our email address. Thank you.